Hello and welcome to Football 301. It's a Super Bowl recap edition. We got a three-man weave. We are live reacting to Super Bowl 60, Patriots, Seahawks. Seahawks with their second Super Bowl title in franchise history. And wow. Tip of the cap to Mike MacDonald, John Schneider, and the rest of the crew. Kenneth Walker winning this game 29-13. Absolute beatdown on one side of the ball. We're going to talk about all of that. And I'm joined in that three-man weave first by Matt Harmon. How you doing, Matt? How was the game? Did you watch it at home? How was the travels, et cetera, et cetera? Great to see you.
Good to see you too. Yeah, back in the box here, and got home last night. No problems traveling. One of the teams that playing tonight definitely had a lot more problems than I did the last few days. So it's good to be here, break down this game, and I'm excited to do it.
And also, Mr. Skunk himself almost got there with the zero prediction. It felt like you got this one. I would have given it to you in that Hail Mary. Mr. Forverts, Charles McDonald, how you doing today, Chuck? With that tout of a Seahawks beatdown.
I had to pay Charles Robinson money because I told him the Seahawks were win by 17 points or more. Got 16. So
there you go.
Pay him money. He said,
"Oh, that's why you wanted that Kenneth Walker score at the end." I was like, "Did you do like a
that's why I needed that score.
I
needed the 17 points." I will say, C-Rob, he didn't feel great about taking my money because he was like, he was way off on what he felt about this game. I'm upset about having to give C-Rob my money. I feel pretty good about my prediction they're going to skunk him. Man, it's almost like the guy who's been shoving Kyle Shanahan in the locker for the past year shouldn't have any problems with someone like Josh McDaniels, right? Huh? You got to talk. Yeah. This guy drafted Tim Tebow in the first round. He's no match for Mike MacDonald.
Tim Tebow's getting used about Super Bowl 60
Josh McDaniels is going to beat
prediction
the
and
coach
recap
of the
about
in my
Super Bowl
eyes.
60. It was a beatdown. I think he felt more than anything was just a lack of speed from those Patriots receivers and maybe a lack of wherewithal from the Patriots offensive line of protection, and Drake Maye compounding those issues early. But again, all right, we'll just start with how that Seahawks defense played against the Patriots offense, because that was the story of the game. Mike MacDonald, just like he's been doing all year long, just tying offenses into knots on third down. That first third down that it ended up like in a pressure where May had to run away with Witherspoon. Witherspoon was great all night. That was just a total protection beater. And then the second third down was like 3rd and 15. Witherspoon got the sack. Same exact blitz, blitz path that they took. And then that was one of those moments where in my prediction pattern, or as we led up to the week and I got pot committed on picking the Patriots, I was like, oh yeah, Doug Marrone. Oh yeah, forgot about Doug Marrone because he got absolutely abused. And then when they didn't blitz, they got sacked. They got home too. 5 of the 6 sacks came per next gen stats came on non-blitzes. I didn't think May was totally seeing ghosts. I just didn't think he was ripping throws early enough. I think you only saw the aggression in the end. 5 of their 6 explosive passes came in the fourth quarter. 2 interceptions. One was kind of a fumble. 17 points for the Seahawks off those. A return touchdown for Nwosu. The A.J. Barner touchdown. Also touted that in my props predictions. And then a field goal. But I thought Vrabel, McDaniels were tight throughout this game. But Matt, starting with you, what stood out to you about the Seahawks? I mean, just top down, really. All 3 levels of the Seahawks defense just really bringing it.
Yeah, I think we talked about if this game was going to get away from the Patriots, the path was that the talent gap is just so big between the players that Seattle has and the player that New England has on offense. And I think in addition to what McDonald was throwing at them schematically and whatever New England wasn't doing to adjust, like to me, this was a player's game for sure. Like you just don't have the guys up front, especially on the left side of that offensive line. And this is sometimes there's nothing you can do to like work around just like these 2 guys over there, 2 rookies, by the way, again, just to consistently come back to that point about how New England is, in my opinion, just so far ahead of where they should be. Like, again, it sounds disrespectful to say this about New England, but they shouldn't be in this game. Like they shouldn't be in this game from where they are in their build perspective, which is a credit to them winning football games and getting here. But then when you get to a game like this, you face a team like Seattle that has been the best team in football this year. You just feel that wide talent gap. So Drake Maye finishes the game with the 6th lowest EPA per dropback for a quarterback in a Super Bowl since the year 2000. By the way, in the bottom 10, there are 2 quarterbacks who won. Peyton Manning and Ben Roethlisberger. Peyton Manning, obviously, when he played for the Broncos. Ben Roethlisberger, when he played as a rookie in 2006 against the Seahawks. Only 6 other quarterbacks had a higher sack rate. And I think if you had cut that off in just for the first half, if not the first 3 quarters, those stats are going to look even worse than they were at the end of the game. So, yeah, it was just a beatdown, especially up front. And, it's hard to say without looking at the all-22 angle, but it certainly didn't feel like anybody was beating the zone coverage that the Seattle Seahawks were throwing at them all night.
Carrying over a couple things what Matt said, Chuck, you kind of always bring this up, and I always like it sometimes in what, sometimes I get to my schematic wormholes, and you kind of go, hey, sometimes it's just a blue chip battle. That's like the term you use to carry over from college. And also one of these things, you brought it up maybe about the Commanders a little bit, but also the Patriots this year as well, amongst other teams where they were picking high for a reason. Like, yeah, you can patch together. Milton Williams was awesome tonight. Like, actually, I feel nothing wrong about that tout or prediction in this game. Yeah. But you sometimes bring this up, Chuck, as just like, hey, you're early. There's nothing wrong with that. But just see the difference between what the Seahawks were doing, both sides, really, even when things aren't going right on offense with Kenneth Walker, et cetera, and then also just on offense, or just compared to what the Patriots are at right now.
Yeah, I mean, in our previous show, I said, if you just look at the depth charts, erase Drake names off of it, and make a case. Pretty tough. Yeah. And also that, like, this game was more of the same from Josh McDaniels this postseason. Like, he has done nothing this postseason to help this offense at all. Whether it comes from, pass protection adjustments, which they've kind of honestly been bad at all season, not just this postseason or tonight. They've kind of been rough at it all season. And then when they ran into this string of defenses, Chargers, Texans, Broncos, and now culminating in Seattle, my whole point is if they had shown anything in those first 3 games that said, hey, they're outmatched, but they're playing well, maybe they got a chance, but they not. Like, they got shoved in the locker every week, and then the defense did enough to pull them across the finish line. And this week, like, the other team's offense didn't have to deal with the weather stuff. So even though Seattle's offense was, especially for how many times they got the ball back after like a 3 and out, they could have done a lot better. Like, this could have been a more damaging game. Christian Gonzalez was outstanding. Milton Williams was outstanding in this game. But again, like, just not enough players up front. And even like really at any level, I don't think the Patriots have enough threatening players for a defense this good or any defense that they faced in the postseason. Because they scored 10 points last week. The week before, they scored 16 because they had the pick 6 off of C.J. Stroud. So even when you get 4 turnovers against Texans, you had 17 yards off 4 drives. And then the week before against the Chargers, that wasn't their best game either. So I kept waiting for something to happen with this Patriots offense, and it never did. I have a chart on True Media that I make. I just call it game flow passing. Just cut out the first 2 drives, cut out garbage time. Just, I guess, the hardest time when you're reacting to the game for a quarterback. Drake Maye, minus 0.7 EPA per dropback, 100 net passing yards, 1 touchdown, 2 picks, 4.4 yards per dropback. So this was pretty bad. And also, man, Mike Vrabel just abysmal today. With the game management stuff, awful. Like, if you go, especially halftime, when they're at they have Seattle at 3rd and 2 on their own side of the field with 3 timeouts left and a minute left, and they just let the clock run out until there were 20 seconds left when they got the ball back after a field goal. That's when they called their first timeout. Like, Mike, like, if you had done anything in that middle 8, if you had gotten a field goal and you're going like 9-3 into halftime, getting the ball back after halftime, that feels like a little bit of a different game. But you just kind of let the game get away from you, and then it was too late and they had nothing. So, I think the Patriots just get back to the drawing board. I wonder if it's going to be tough for them because now you got the 31st pick and you might have needed to pick a little bit higher than that. But you got the quarterback. Like, this game doesn't change how I feel about Drake Maye. He's great. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Today was not his day. And shout out to Seattle. I mean, that was just a comprehensive ass whooping from start to finish.
Yeah, the Vrabel tightness was so strange. Just a couple moments right away. Cooper Kupp had that catch on the sideline on, I think, in the first drive. And remember, it was just kind of was iffy, and he doesn't challenge it. Vrabel's usually an aggressive guy. The 4th and 1 punt in the 3rd quarter, that whole sequence was like, that's when it just felt like ball game to me. More than like that 3rd down run everybody was making a big deal of. That one I understood. They couldn't protect anything, and they were trying to throw a changeup at him. The guy just botches the block. But it was that 3rd down drive, 1st and 10, 9-yard gain to Henderson. 2nd and 1, Henderson gets stuffed. Why is Henderson in there in short yardage? Terrible, and it has been since Ohio State. 3rd and 1, Maye moves around, doesn't connect with Douglas. On that 3rd and 1, and it was 3rd and 1.9. I looked on Next Gen Stats, so it's a long one. They ran 3rd and 1, they ran 9.89, which is a touchdown that they threw to Kayshon Boutte against Derek Stingley in the Texans. That's a very vertical concept. That's like a down the field concept, maybe hit the check down. Maye gets moved off a spot, and then he's trying to throw Douglas, and he throws a short. Douglas. And then they punt on 4th and 1. But that 3rd and 1, they were out of the gun. They were 9.89. That's like a 3rd and long concept. So to me, it was like, you don't call that unless you think you're going for it on 4th down, to me. And that was very strange to me. And then when they don't go for 2, when they were down 12, that was very strange. It was, yeah. I thought you played tight, and then I thought Maye kind of played tight as well. And the first couple sacks, it was like, all right, that was protection stuff. The one where the backup defensive tackle pushed the guard back into him, and that was the one that was strange to me, because that was one I thought he could have ripped a throw to Douglas. It wouldn't have been easy, but that was the one. But also remember what we were talking about in the pregame, and this was where I saw the path, was like, Maye lets it rip. He's going to have to. That's the only way you can beat this defense. And he kind of just wasn't. Like, he wasn't just letting those go. Like, he would see it, but he was kind of just waiting that extra half second. So it was a tough spot for him, but I just didn't think also that until those couple drives, in the second half, where you got to see kind of like the good part of how he plays. But I just thought he kind of played a little tight. I felt like the whole offense played tight, and McDaniel's part of it. I thought it was a very traditional, static call sheet. First down runs, very like unsuccessful first down pass. Here comes a 2nd down run. If that was a first down play action, we got a first down, which only happened once. It was the Boutte. Then we're going to go first down run on the next play, which it was just like they're just teeing off on it. And then the protections, I thought Garrett Bradbury was bad, went to the wrong direction a bunch of times. I had the slide going to the wrong direction. Yeah, pretty rough. But I want to kick it to you, Matt. Charles kind of finished that way. Your feelings on Maye? Like, obviously, I'm going to be high on Maye and everything, and this is one game doesn't indicate a guy. But what's the takeaways maybe on Maye? What do you want to see from this Patriots team this offseason? Do you want to see them add O-line? Do you just want to see a receiver? Is there a guy that you've watched hint at your reception perception work that you maybe think might be a good fit here as well? Something of that sort. What do you want to see from the Patriots next, and how you're feeling about Maye after this game?
Yeah, I don't think that my thoughts on Drake Maye really change all that much from this game. I think that he was already not having a great postseason from a results perspective. So, if they were going to win this game, that was what was tough to make the case for, okay, well, if they're going to win this game, it's going to be because Drake Maye is awesome. It's like, well, we haven't really seen that yet in these big games against these great defenses. And again, that's just talking about results. I'm not talking necessarily about like process and everything like that. It's just, it's tough to have a great quarterback performance. Like, I'm sure people are going to say that EPA stat I threw out earlier. How much of that is Drake Maye and how much of that is the surroundings? It's like, yes, it's an all-encompassing stat there. Right. It's not a player isolating stat, Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. I think for this one, there are a lot of plays that Drake Maye is going to want to have back. There's a lot of plays where he's let down by the supporting cast. I think you're hoping that Drake Maye is you and I have talked about, Nate, he's a young guy. Like, physically, he looks young. I think mentally tonight, he definitely looked like the inexperience showed. I think at times he was definitely frenetic. He was either too slow to let it rip or a little bit too sped up in the pocket. Like that's going to happen. But I think New England has to look at, I think, both offensive line and the receiver core. I would put more of an emphasis on the protection because, I hate to keep bagging on Will Campbell, but the games in the last month have been, he's been like, okay, well, he's
we give you a chance. How I wrote him up was he earned the right to fail at left tackle. He failed at left tackle. All right, we're good.
He failed at left tackle without question in the biggest games. It's like it looks like a guard. It looks like a guard. It quacks like a guard. It's a guard. Like that, I think we can go ahead and just say that at this point. Which, hey, remember, Jared Wilson was a collegiate center, and they played him at guard all season. Maybe we just go ahead and shift both of those guys to the right. You find a left tackle, which. Easier said than done. Go find a franchise left tackle. But that to me is probably priority number one. We shift those two rookies who got a year's worth of experience. I think the receiver core definitely needs, to me, like a legit X receiver that we can throw the ball to 8 times a game and feel good, as opposed to Kayshon Boutte, nice player, but he's more of a 4 to 5 target a game player. But that to me is second in the priority list. First of all, you just got to fix the offensive line so that we don't go into these games against the best defenses and feel like we're playing with our hand tied behind our back right away.
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you. I think I'd love and there's some interesting left tackle project types at the end, but again, it's Doug Marrone coaching them. And I don't think the Patriots are in any kind of like Vrabel and staff. I feel like are just going to keep the band together. Like I don't think they have any inkling to upgrade from McDaniels, which is you guys should be adding and looking for new ideas and new O-line, if it's online. But I want to kick it to you now, Charles. Kind of same question maybe for Darnold, maybe where you feel about him. By the way, did not know he was the first USC quarterback to play in the Super Bowl. I want to triple check that because that was the most mind blowing stat I've seen the whole week. Yeah, I know, Matt. that was my face too. First quarterback from that draft class to win it. Wins it after playing for 5 teams. That's a great note. But I want to
the Sam Darnold oligarchs. Nate, take a bow. The oligarchs win.
This game was win-win quarterback take wise. Right? Chuck, I wanted to ask you. You covered Darnold with the Jets. Kind of how you feel about him now. You've kind of just been kind of indifferent on him. You're not good, like super high, super low. Kind of like, hey, he has good stuff, but he can crash sometimes. Kind of held off most of that this year. Where are you kind of just feeling about him? And then we're going to talk maybe more about the Seahawks in a sec about their winning.
It's kind of interesting because the back half of the season, I don't think he was very good. But it wasn't like as destructive as you would see sometimes like with the Jets or even like late season with the Vikings where it's like, oh, man, like, can this guy start for us? But again, like you got another game, like 3 games in a row, no turnovers for Sam. Even though it seemed like he was trying his darndest at times, especially a little earlier in the game when he seemed like a little bit frenetic.
No. They were jumping those. Oh man.
Yeah. But ultimately, like, man, like I thought the sack avoidance snipe from Sam was incredible because we saw until the end, like we saw Milton Williams have his way with Anthony Bradford and the center Sundell throughout basically the entire course of the game, and Sam would just whoop. Okay, I'm going to get behind you and I'm going to miss the throw. Okay, cool. But it's better than a sack, So, because the one that I keep coming back to is the JSN one where it's like, that was so close to being an incredible ad-lib play from both of them, where he beats Milton Williams and he comes back up, loops back up the pocket, and threw it just an inch too far. But I thought that the back and forth between Sam and Milton Williams was honestly really impressive for Sam on my part because that was one area that I was concerned about for this game. Like, oh, man, like if Milton Williams or Barmore are just whooping ass up front, then maybe this is a game where Sam kind of struggles and he has the turnovers and you don't see it. And they were whooping ass up front and he survived. So I got a hat tip to him. I thought that it wasn't his best game of the season, but it was the game he needed to have, which was clean. No turnovers. You got a touchdown. No like huge disaster plays. So I kind of feel the same about Sam. It's like the goods are good. The bads are bad, but at least like you're seeing the bads being eliminated a lot more. Because like I can promise you, 4 or 5 years ago when I was at the Daily News and Sam sees Milton Williams come up the middle, that's a strip sack, bro, every single time. So I think that's a big improvement on Sam's part. And shoot, he won the Super Bowl. He's gonna get a contract extension. It's kind of cool to see his redemption story.
It is. It's this whole year he's been avoiding sacks and scrambling less. He had a nice scramble tonight too, like a real fun one. And that kind of just showed how much more confidence he has in this offense and what plays are called. He just keeps getting reps at it. Great call on the sack avoidance because, only took the 1 sack and he got pressured. 17 times? Decent amount of times. Yes, he got pressured 17 times, got sacked once. Yeah, Milton Williams had a whole bunch of quick pressures. God, May got pressured 28 times. But no, Milton Williams had 6 total pressures, 4 quick pressures. And May Darnold did a great job. I thought also all the missed tackles. That was a big story of the game to me because the Patriots defense they did what they did at part. Like they did it. Like they did the game plan. Like to me, they let off some big plays in the run game. We'll talk about Kenneth Walker in a sec. But then at times they just missed some tackles. And then it wasn't just they missed tackles, that those tackles went for yards because of what Kenneth Walker was doing and Darnold. They had 13 missed tackles and they allowed 97 yards after those. The Seahawks missed 9 and allowed 42 yards after that. And Kenneth Walker wins Super Bowl MVP. The last running back to win Super Bowl MVP was Terrell Davis in Super Bowl 32. Wow, I would not have got that. But yeah, 27 runs, 135 yards, 2 carries, 26 yards. And I thought, I mean, this is why you have Kenneth Walker. It was boom bust, but it was in the best way possible. It was boom bust because he hit a lot of booms. And I thought he was taking runs sideline to sideline, but it was within the structure of the play. That's the beauty of duo. My dad would describe duo because people always think that like runs have to go in certain places. And duo, he would say, it's like a snowflake. No two duo runs are alike, and especially Kenneth Walker duo runs because he winds that thing back all the way, and you got to see it. But he's one of the few guys that can do that in the league. Bajan's one of those. Yeah. But hats off to him. I thought he was special. I thought he was the playmaker. He created so much. He's a free agent after this year, as now the season's over as well. But Charles, Kenneth Walker, what you saw, all the good stuff, all the missed tackles, all that stuff in between.
He is like the funniest. Like his development path is very funny to me because I think this game is probably like the biggest microcosm of like where he's changed, because he used to just be, blinders on, run to the back of my O-line. Okay, that's that. But now he's like waiting like 3 or 4 yards behind the line of scrimmage for things to open up. Honestly, like I thought some of the blocks by like Abe Lucas out on the perimeter, and AJ Barner out the perimeter, like they kind of let him just sit there and wait. And then the thing that you can't teach that he has is just, being 230 pounds and 4.4 speed. And like when he gets going, it's boom, and he's off to the races. So I thought there was a lot of plays where that's also like where the talent disparity came on the Patriots side, because they just don't have a lot of team speed at the second level of that defense.
Yeah.
Like, Christian Gonzalez had a great game. Robert Spillane had a couple of big hits, but like there's a lot of angle erasing going on in that game, or even just a lot of broken tackles leading into angle erasing going on in that game. So his development path has been really fun, but shoot, if it wasn't going to be the kicker, it had to be, Kenneth Walker for Super Bowl MVP. I think the way he's kind of molded his game to work for him has been fun, because it's such a hard turn from where he started. And it's even sometimes it feels like even a more dramatic version of like how Le'Veon Bell used to run the ball, how Le'Veon would stop and wait and see things open. But Le'Veon, like, he was hugging the ass of his centers and his guards. Kenneth is like, he's like step back so we can see the whole picture open up. And then when it hits, he's off. Not always great, because we did see a couple TFLs today where you're trying to push things to the outside and it doesn't work. But I mean, we saw it on the final run that got called back. I mean, that's what, 3rd and 13 that you're taking to the house for 60 yards. That's why you keep giving to the ball, even when it's even when it's sloppy and it doesn't look like the cleanest for him.
He's harnessed that speed. I mean, that's the best way to put it. Like he really has. Yeah. And Matt, we talked this whole year because we were kind of just saying like, hey, Zach Charbonnet is pretty good too. Like, and then he gets hurt. But one of the side effects of that was Kenneth Walker got to stay fresh. And sure enough, when he was the main character in that backfield, he got to like shine and be explosive and do all the good stuff. So Kenneth Walker, any praise for him? Or if you want to take this question to this way, because I asked you about this with the Patriots, maybe because he's a free agent, so my mind's on that. What do you want to see for the Seahawks to maybe go back to back? Anything they should add or want to add? Anything that you're excited about, layers, anything, et cetera, with the Seahawks to maybe go back to back?
Yeah, 313 yards in the postseason, 4.8 yards per carry for Kenneth Walker, 3.3 yards after contact per rush attempt in the postseason this year, and obviously made an impact as a receiver too. And does any of this happen if Zach Charbonnet doesn't get hurt in the divisional round?
Right.
And like I did, and like, again, I'm not taking a victory lap on this take, but because I said that, I think I actually said it on this podcast first, but I know I said it then on the fantasy show that what if the Seahawks were just taking using the regular season to keep Kenneth Walker fresh for like December in the postseason. And again, I don't even know if that's really correct, because Zach Charbonnet does get hurt in the divisional round, but a guy looked pretty damn fresh in the postseason. Not a guy that looked like really worn down by a lot of grinder carries, as Zach Charbonnet was kind of the guy to take those grinder carries. So yeah, I do think that's a big part of this, and probably why I think that Kenneth Walker projecting forward is going to be a bit of a tricky evaluation because, Collinsworth said at one point tonight, like, yeah, he doesn't pass protect and he doesn't catch passes. He actually does make an impact as a pass catcher, but you just can't ask him to like catch the ball too far downfield. It's got to be like check down, dump it off the line of scrimmage. I think they used him in the screen game well tonight. The one play,
Derrick Henry almost.
His first play actually kind of stood out. I think it was his first catch of the night where JSN, I think he's in the backfield and they, leak him out in the backfield, and then Kenneth Walker runs a screen to the other side of the field. And obviously that's using a lot of the eye candy we've talked about with, JSN's in the backfield in the NFC Championship game. The Rams are losing him. I think they try Kubiak set that up tonight. So you can use him as that in that way as a pass catcher. You just can't ask him to like run routes down the field. So he's a little bit of a tricky evaluation. He's not really for everybody. But I actually wonder if this postseason run has maybe even priced Kenneth Walker out of the Seahawks range, because I could see him getting to the open market and getting a big deal from a team that just sees the size and sees the explosiveness and, kind of says, hey, in our system, maybe in a way like a Derrick Henry where he's just that grinder player in a run-first offense, he could be more impactful than he was in Seattle, and he could end up getting a bigger bag. I actually wonder if that has come to pass here.
Yeah, it's an interesting running back class, free agent-wise. There's some Breece Hall, and I'll just keep saying his name, Tyler Algier. I know Charles doesn't want me to say his name out loud. But no, there's some guys out there. I know I'm curious. I'm very curious kind of where he ends up, because I do think he's specific. I think they did a fantastic job of Clint Kubiak, new Raiders head coach. Did a great job of just making him very specific on what he is and when he's not on the field, I should say, protection wise, everything you're kind of talking about, his limitations, and what he can and cannot do. I think he's always a guy that needs a little bit of help in there, but man, I mean, come playoff time, which is the hardest time out there, and defenses tee off on tendencies, you have to make the touches worth it. And he did. I mean, the explosive gains, I mean, he created so much tonight. So many of those could have just been nothing, and they could have just stayed out of scoring range, and that could have changed the whole flow of the game. Maybe not, considering how the Patriots offense was going. But still, it's like he did so much. Deserved MVP. To me, I think there was just he did enough that we didn't have to tip of the cap to the defense. It's kind of hard to give one to the one Seahawks defensive guy, because it's like Witherspoon, Murphy, maybe, it's like Nwosu got the one, but that was a score.
Yeah,
Derek Hall.
Derek Hall was good. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
this is exactly the problem that we've been saying in the postseason with the Seahawks defense. Is there's not like one guy. They are just they're all such good players, and I think if that was true tonight, was if you're trying to give, if somebody had like a pick six or friggin' 3 sacks or something maybe, but it's just like not how it goes with this defense.
The 72 Dolphins is infamously the no-name defense. This one's the too many name defense.
Too many names,
there's too many names. Because every time I want to talk about it, I'm like, well, this guy did well. Oh, and then this, even mid-rant right there, I was just like, oh, yeah, and Derek Hall dominated. Like, DeMarcus Lawrence. Like, you could just go on and on with which guys stood out.
It's almost like that's football, right? Like, one guy set something up for another guy. Like, that's what, it's almost like it's a team sport. And it's like, even as the guy that built his whole brand off like trying to isolate one position, I can admit that that's like impossible to do. That's football. You try to isolate one thing, and this defense really makes it tough to do that. And like everything works off of each other. That's what this sport is. And like Mike Tirico said something I think close to halftime where he's like, this game, might have been right before they tossed halftime, this game really embodied the NFL season, or this game felt like the season. I think he was kind of pointing, and you could take that multiple different ways. But to me, I took it as, this game was filled with some like throwback football. Defenses were ahead of offenses this season for a lot of it. Like the best teams in the NFL had the best defenses, and the best team in the NFL was the Seahawks. They had the best defense. They won the Super Bowl. So I actually kind of thought that was fitting that we're sitting here talking about this defense and how good it was and how hard it is to isolate one player. And that's the sport of football. It's a team sport. It's hard to isolate individual players, and Seattle really exemplified that all year.
Yeah, I have a question for you, Chuck, but real quick is I agree with you, Matt, that the protections right now, to me, the defenses have a huge advantage. Protection rules are busted right now. And there's a couple teams that are doing some stuff that's helping it out. They use different offensive stuff like cadence, late motion. Of course, the Rams are on top of a lot of stuff, but Ben Johnson and the Bears, another team. But I do think that more defenses have the advantage on passing downs just because they're breaking protection rules. Like the protection beaters, like we saw tonight. Again, watch those first 2 third downs. The running back can't be right on those plays. He, no matter what, is wrong, and there's going to be an automatic free runner unless the offensive line slides into it. And that takes advanced play and advanced coaching. And there's only a few guys that can do that. Every offensive line coach that can do that gets paid a lot of money and gets picked up right away. It's very, very hard. And that's where the next frontier is to me, is that has to be a step. We want to talk about zone runs and all this stuff and 13 personnel and play action shot plays. It's like protections. Protections is where the next frontier is and where the advantages come. But I was going to say to you, Chuck, where's the Seahawks defense rank for you as one of the best units you've watched? You can say since your kind of football brain came on, you can say since you've been in media, just kind of to you, because I've been kind of trying to rack that, and it might be an all-timer for me. I don't think that's a crazy statement, but I'm curious where you think
it's an all-timer for sure.
Yeah,
it's an all-timer for sure.
Ravens.
I'll do since I started media. I started media in 2015, so you've got that's going to cut off the last end of the Dan Quinn, Gus Bradley defense.
Yeah, you got the Broncos D.
You're starting with that Broncos defense. Then you have the Eagles defense from last year. I would put that Ravens defense that lost in the AFC title game up there too. A Mike MacDonald defense. It's got to be top 3. I would say Mike MacDonald's probably coached 2 of the top 3, 2 of the top 4 or 5 defenses in this decade of football. We were talking about Josh McDaniels. He drafted Tim Tebow in the first round, and people made me seem like I was crazy for saying the disgraced coach of the Raiders,
assistant coach of the year
in the first round,
assistant coach of the year
for something. Right,
not
that's Patriots war maxing that lazy voters do because the Patriots won 14 games. It must be some air of mystery. No, they got to play an easy ass schedule. And what happens when they got the playoffs? They got their butts kicked on offense 4 times in a row because Josh McDaniels. He is what his last initial is, M for mid. Come on, man. No, I can't believe people are making me crazy. Making me sound crazy this week in person. It had to be a dozen people saying, "Well, Josh McDaniels won assistant coach of the year." Did you watch the games? What does he do? What does he do to help people? What does he do to help his quarterback? He did nothing today, or the past 3 games.
He did nothing.
Or the 17 games before
or Will
that.
Campbell.
It's just iso
How many
ball.
one-on-ones did Will Campbell have?
Right. I'm watching Drake Maye hit,
that's the thing.
No, but I'm watching Drake Maye hit incredible passes all season long. There was a game against the Cardinals that burned my brain where he throws a bender in the middle of the field versus Tampa 2 and throws it in between 4 defenders and is dead on. And I'm hearing about Josh McDaniels. What is happening to my society? Can we watch the games, please? One of these guys is actually getting his team prepared, ready to play. And the other guy is coasting on having an elite quarterback again. Because when he's been away from his elite quarterback, what does it look like? We're making fun of him. And this is the same offense he was running with the Vegas Raiders. So why is this good now? Explain it to me. No one can do it. And that's why he got his ass beat today.
Keep saying it's a B-. That's why I'm scared about what's gonna come because they need about 5 guys to make it better.
Yeah,
it's easy when you need guys dunking on every. It's a hard offense because you need guys winning. You need Gronks, you need Edelmans, you need guys that with some juice to win some one-on-ones and stuff.
You need a bunch of good players, right?
You need good players.
So how good are you?
Weird, as opposed to maximizing.
Apparently.
Matt, I have a similar or same question.
I had to get it off my chest.
No. Hey! You went in the preview show. I'll put it this way.
Yeah, you said it.
I wanted to be I'm just like cards on the table. I was just all right, what's the angle? What's the path for how this team can win and everything? I mean, you were there. You're hey, let's just not overlook these mismatches this entire team has, and all of coaching wise and front wise, and hey, let's just look at it again. So you emphasized it. So of course you get the rant because that's exactly how the game played out. But I was gonna say to you, Matt, how do you feel about the Seahawks defense? Is this the same to you? Is this an all-time unit to you? I get to marinate on it. I would say 2002 is when my NFL brain really came on, and it's really up there for me. With the Bucks D, the Ravens D's from those years, that. It's really up there for me. Yeah. But what about you?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, if I started, I was at 2014. 2013, 2014, kind of really not football brain turning on necessarily, but like, writing about football, covering football like that. Yeah. It's definitely up there for me as well.
Brain.
It's professional brain, correct. Not like I know every player in Madden type brain. No, but I mean, yeah, I think it's definitely up there. It's so well coached, and the personnel, as we've continued to say, it is not this no-name defense. It's a too many names defense. So there's no question that I think it belongs up with some of those groups. And now they have the signature win in the Super Bowl to prove it, to really cement that. And like that's what you get to do. If you win in this game and you do it in the fashion that you did, where look again, we continue to say, New England just not that talented. Okay, they're not that talented, and they're coached by a fraud per Charles McDonald here. So that's fine.
Per reporting from 4 Verts.
Per reporting from 4 Verts.
That's right.
From
we were
4
all
Verts
laughing at this guy
Industries.
2 years ago. What happened? Come back.
Right.
Get demoted. No, but I mean, but seriously,
come back to my side. It just happened.
It's one of those defenses, like it gets a signature performance here for what I think is in a beautiful blend of coaching and players.
Yeah, and that's the same with McDonald. Even like, I mean, tip of the cap, Seahawks were our pick on Football 3-1 to win the NFC West. You heard it here. Didn't think it would be a Super Bowl run, I'll be honest, but we did it. So we did say they had a Super Bowl caliber
defense to start the season, though. We did say that. We said the offense would be explosive enough and the run game would be enough. We said it. Go listen to it. It's probably one of our best takes that we had the whole preseason. I believe we even said that they would win a playoff game. I threw that in there. But no, it to me is just like this was quite a run. This is one of the better teams I've seen. Mm-hmm. I had fun trying to like find the Patriots upset, but I mean, the 3 units, special teams are great. Special teams on both sides were really good tonight. And again, the Patriots defense was really good tonight, but again, Seahawks defense. So that was an all-time unit. Watching what they did to the Rams 2 weeks ago on 3rd down, which they did to you felt the weaknesses. Yeah. It's easier to say like, or easy to say when we're previewing, oh, this is a weakness. This could happen, or me like, oh, they're middle at this, but then they just wipe. I mean, every advantage that they have, they just magnify it. Like you could just feel them picking their spots and running games on the O line, and just like, oh my God, this was something. This is one of the most memorable units I've watched in some time. But what I was going to say before the season was talking about like, oh, what happened with Josh McDaniels? Is kind of like remember our original takes. Same with Mike MacDonald when he was the hottest defensive coordinator in NFL. Him and Ben Johnson. It was like, hey, weren't we just really high on these guys? What happened? So I think he found of course, they made some nice moves. John Schneider deserves props. He's deservedly got ragged maybe a few years ago, but I think the Russell Wilson trade, he timed that up, traded Geno, signs Darnold, perfect team fit. The offense matches what the defense is, which is a supernova defense, all-time defense. And then on top of it, the draft picks, great Zabel, all the stuff. It was just one after another. I mean, draft picks hit. Yeah. Just a complete roster, special teams. Just tip of the cap to them. So also when we talk about
and on Seattle too, I was gonna say on Seattle too, by the way, Kobe Bryant, free agent, just on defense. Tariq Woolen, free agent. Boye Mafe, free agent. Like that's not. I mean, those are some obviously good core players for them.
Yeah, but that's part of their defense. That's a core. Yeah.
Yeah, but at the same time, like some of their best players are here for the long term. Like this defense feels like it has at least another year of sustainability at the top level. And offensively too, I mean, it's Rashid Shaheed, who they traded for at the deadline. It's Kenneth Walker, who we just talked about. Josh Jobe also is someone I don't know if I mentioned is a free agent too, but yeah, it's like that's the crop of free agency. Like the biggest question for them is just replacing Clint Kubiak as the offensive coordinator, who confirmed to Stacey Dales afterwards in the locker room, by the way, that he is going to be the head coach of the Raiders. So we obviously knew that was coming. He went ahead and said it because every reporter already said it. So that's the biggest question for them, really. But other than that, like the roster's in pretty good shape coming back again. So it's always hard to win 2 Super Bowls in a row. I'm not saying they're going to win two Super Bowls in a row, but there's some sustainability to this little window that they built right here.
Yeah, NFC is going to be a bloodbath next year. I'm already looking at it. It's gonna be a bunch of haymakers thrown next year. But I was gonna say that talk about blue chip battle when Pop Douglas ran that wheel route and Drake Maye tried to throw it like back shoulder him with a man of worry. It looked like just a hawk, like an eagle, a pterodactyl, and like just a little sparrow. And that's like the thing. There's game speed plus size, man. Like that's a lot of length. That was a long shadow being cast on your slot receiver. But also, last thing was with going throughout this year, I remember the Texans game was the one that stood out to me. Matt, you and I talked about, I think, on a Tuesday show. And like Darnold had a bunch of turnovers. They still win the game. And throughout the year, just being high in the Seahawks, but just being like, no, I think they are elite. Like, I think after about 4 weeks, we really started talking about, like, I think they're one of the like top teams. Was, oh, Darnold's had these turnovers and they just keep winning. It was one of those feelings too. I remember kind of saying this where I was talking about, I was like, what if he doesn't though? Like, what if he doesn't have turnovers? Then what does this team look like? And got to see it on this run. It looks like just an elite team that just storms to the Super Bowl. All right. Before we wrap, etc. thoughts. Bad Bunny, the commercials. What do we think about the etc.ness of the Super Bowl pregame show? I thought Kyle Shanahan did a nice job. I thought the Bad Bunny production values were phenomenal. Chuck, what'd you think? Everything else with the Super Bowl.
The first thing, Kyle Shanahan before the game was very funny. When they asked him about Mike MacDonald, he was like, I don't know. I haven't scored a touchdown on him in 8 quarters, 2 games. So why are you asking me? Which is very, very real.
That's good.
You know, like because Mike did turn Kyle and that offense into his personal punching bag for the last 2 games that they played. And really, I guess the last thing that stands out, Bad Bunny performance was awesome. And you look outside, kind of necessary to remember that the things that make us different are not necessarily so scary. They're not worth detaining children. They are not worth ejecting people from the country. And sometimes that shit slaps, bro. Like, I was having a great time with that music. I didn't understand a word, but it's good stuff. You know, I think as we delve into wherever we are as a country right now, seeing something like that was good for us as a society. And I hope that more people take that away from it, because that was really fun to see.
Yeah, Mark Twain has the quote, travel is fatal to prejudice, bigotry, and narrow-mindedness. And I think some people had that with the Bad Bunny show and maybe the week in San Fran. Matt, any etc. thoughts on this game, Bad Bunny, commercials, everything in between with this game?
Yeah, I thought Bad Bunny was awesome. I listened to Bad Bunny because I think I've said it before, my wife's like a massive fan. And if I had even come close to meeting him this week, she would have not let me back in this house. So yeah, I mean, and by the way, I don't know what he's saying either. But you know what, my shoulders know what he's saying. You know, doesn't matter. Like, I mean, right. It's good, dude. Like, give me a break. Like, it's a shame that we live in a time where everything has to turn into a stupid culture war. Like, come on. But you know, it was awesome. The show was awesome.
Minutes, you know.
Just yeah, like just be like, okay, this is cool. Like, this is cool. Like, I'm having a good time listening to this right now and keep it moving. Yeah.
Puerto Rican
Can
American
I say
citizen.
something?
Yeah.
I want to end this, at least my part in this. I had a really cool moment this weekend on my way out of San Francisco. I got to eat breakfast with Method Man on Saturday.
I meant to ask you this. Yes, that's right.
At Pat's Steakhouse on Saturday. And I got a picture of him a couple years ago at like the Le Batard Vegas, extravaganza. And so got to sit down with him. He said he didn't give a crap about the Super Bowl because the Jets weren't playing it green and white all day until he died. So they're back. I know, right? He was like, well, I told him, I was like, I used to cover the Jets for Daily News. He's like, I'm sorry. That was the second person to apologize to me this week about a football affiliation behind Bijan Robinson when he apologized to me about the Falcons being bad. What a week. So, yeah, we're heading into the off season, and it's been a really, really fun season. I'm so glad I got to see you guys this week, and yeah, that's really all I got to say. This is just great sport, and it's going to be great to look away from it for a week or two before we get into draft mode.
Right, and then we'll move on to that. I meant to ask you about the method. All I had for my celebrity encounters this week is getting big time by Tommy DeVito. That's all I got.
Oh. What?
I would not let that stand. I saw that.
I was got introduced to him, and he just turned around as I was trying to ask him a question about Brett Bielema. That's my celebrity story. There's some other stuff that happened, but that was not with him, but other celebrities that met. But that was my highlight, I think, or low light, I should say, with DeVito. Yeah, I thought wonderful season. I think even this whole summer we just kept talking about how wide open it was, especially the AFC, how anything could happen, even though I would say I went a little chalky with some predictions and stuff, but it just felt like a wide open year. It felt like a crossroads year. Lamar Jackson doesn't make the playoffs. Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs don't make the playoffs. Bills fire Sean McDermott, some changing of the guard happening. I mean, Harbaugh moved on. It's with the Giants. It just really felt like something different happening in the AFC. It feels like a lot times are changing, but also just NFC kind of showing that there's some good quarterbacks, but there's also just some really good teams in that conference. There's some really good units, and something we've talked about throughout this year, but it just kind of shows like this. It's just complete team ball. That's where we're at in the NFL. It's explosives. It's limiting explosives. It's playing from too high and just locking down the run. Easier said than done. But it was kind of cool just to see Seahawks and Mike MacDonald just kind of capitalize exactly what they needed to. Explosive passing game, just the formula that you need right now. I'm kind of curious, see the next steps around the NFL, see what happens in this spring, but very fun year, very fun Super Bowl week. Thank you everyone at Yahoo for setting up. I mean, the office was fantastic. Everybody was great there. Thanks to everybody that helped out for all those shows. I mean, it was just wall to wall. And everybody just killed it, booking throughout the time. Everyone killed those interviews. And a quick reminder before we close this out, the NFL regular season and playoffs are open, but the NBA season is full swing. We got All-Star game coming up. Trade deadline occupied enough of my time. Go Wolves. Nice pick or nice trade, even though they lose 2 in a row. Blah. If you haven't already, subscribe to the new Yahoo NBA channel on YouTube, the new home of our friends, Kevin O'Connor. At the Kevin O'Connor Show, the Dunker Spot, and the Big Number. Subscribe over at youtube.com/Yahoo NBA. We're closing it out today on the 2025 NFL season. We'll be back on Thursday, but also, again, thank you everyone that joined us this season. So much fun seeing the show grow, seeing these live shows just kind of start booming a little bit. Also, everybody that checked us out, the replies, you guys send me emails. I just the feedback I get on the show is so great, and I really, really appreciate it, guys. And everybody that helps me out, Matt and Chuck especially, you guys are the best. They're such good friends. Just had so much fun doing these shows with you guys, just the ebbs and flows of this season, covering it all. And everybody behind the scenes, Stone, Brett, Austin, Madison, everybody. I mean, just really everybody. It's such a team effort. But yeah, thank you, all you guys. You guys make us look and sound good. I always say that. I'm not kidding. You do. So I appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. But I'm Nate Tice. I'm closing it out today. You can find me at Nate_Tice on social media. That's Matt Harmon. You can find him at Matt Harmon_BYB. That's Charles McDonald. You can find him at 4Verts on Blue Sky. Subscribe to us, follow us, rate us 5 stars wherever you get your podcasts, Spotify, Apple, all that good stuff. Watch us on YouTube like some of you are right now. And again, I appreciate that. Thank you guys so much. Subscribe and like the Yahoo YouTube channel. Thanks again to everyone behind the scenes. Thank you guys for all joining us. See you guys next time.